You know, building a nation's future is a lot like a massive construction project. It takes bold ideas, huge infrastructure, and maybe most importantly, it's built with the minds of the next generation. Today, we're taking a look at India's ambitious plan to do just that. We're going to explore both the grand blueprint and the complicated reality on the ground. So let's dive in.
And right at the heart of this whole vision, you've got these incredible goals for sustainable development and national progress. It's really a commitment to leapfrog into a whole new era of growth and innovation.
So, how do you actually make all that happen? I mean, how do you turn those big ambitions into something real? Well, it's a fascinating puzzle, and India's strategy seems to have two key parts. First, completely rethinking how it educates its kids. And second, learning from the messy, real-world challenges of building some of the biggest green energy projects in the world.
Okay, so let's start with that blueprint. This isn't just about building more schools. Nope. This is about creating a totally new kind of school, one designed to shape a new kind of citizen for the future. It's all part of something called the PM SHRI Schools initiative. And the core idea is pretty cool. Take thousands of existing government schools and totally transform them into model institutions. Think of them as living laboratories for the country's new national education policy, basically setting the gold standard for everyone else to follow. And the scale of this thing, it is absolutely massive. We are talking about transforming over 14,500 schools. That's across the entire length and breadth of the country. This is a full-on nationwide overhaul. So what really makes these schools different? I mean, what's the secret sauce? Well, for one, they're designed to be green schools, with things like solar panels and water conservation. The focus is shifting away from just memorizing facts to hands-on, inquiry-driven learning. Students are going to get internships with local industries, they'll be learning in smart classrooms, and this is really interesting, it's all going to be rooted in India's own knowledge systems and heritage. It is a truly holistic approach. And really, it all boils down to this. The policy itself says the goal is to nurture well-rounded individuals who have those critical thinking and problem-solving skills they're going to need to thrive in the 21st century. It's a fantastic vision, for sure. But this brings us to a really critical question. What happens when you take that perfect plan off the paper and drop it into the real world? What do these ideals of a green and sustainable future actually look like on the ground, with all its messy realities? To understand that, we need to step out of the classroom for a minute. We're going to visit one of India's flagship green projects, the Pavagada Solar Park in the state of Karnataka. This, right here, is where the blueprint meets the dirt. And this place is wow. It's called Shakti Sthala, which means place of power, and it is one of the largest solar parks on the entire planet. To give you some perspective, 13,000 acres. That is about the size of Manhattan, just covered in solar panels. Let's just look at the raw numbers here. It cranks out over 2,000 megawatts of power. That's enough for hundreds of thousands of homes. It's sitting on that massive 13,000-acre patch of land, and what's really unique is that the land was acquired through a leasing model involving about 2,300 local farmers. But here's the thing about a project this big. It's never simple. It's a perfect example of what you could call the complex price of progress. For every single major benefit, you often find these unexpected and sometimes pretty difficult trade-offs. And this table just lays it out so clearly. On one side of the coin, you have these incredible positives: a ton of clean energy, a stable income for farmers in an area that's always hit by drought, and over $2 billion in investment. But then you flip that point over. The park uses a huge amount of water to clean the panels in that same drought-prone region. It wiped out local habitats, and a big one, the high-skill engineering jobs tended to go to outsiders, while local people got the lower-skilled work. Plus, there's this ticking time bomb: what do you do with millions of old solar panels? And let's zoom in on the human impact, because this is where it gets really personal. For the farmers who own the land, this project was often a lifeline, a guaranteed income that farming just couldn't provide anymore. But for the landless laborers, the people who relied on that same land to graze their animals, it was a disaster. They lost their access, they lost their livelihoods, and it created this deep social divide in the community. So what in the world does a solar park in Karnataka have to do with a new education policy? Well, everything. This is where we connect that amazing, aspirational vision for the future with the complicated reality we just witnessed. Here it is, the crucial point. The problems at Pavagada, the water shortages, the social inequality, the future e-waste. These aren't simple engineering problems. They are messy, complex, multi-layered challenges, and they're exactly the kinds of problems that the new PM SHRI curriculum is designed to teach the next generation how to solve. So just imagine a student from one of these new schools. They wouldn't just see a water problem. They'd see an opportunity for waterless robotic cleaning. They'd look at that lost grazing land and maybe propose something called agrovoltaics, where you use the same land for both solar panels and farming, maybe letting sheep graze right between the panels. They would see old solar panels not as trash, but as a resource for a whole new circular economy. These are the kinds of creative, sustainable solutions we're talking about. So ultimately, the goal is to completely shift our thinking. It stops being about just building a solar park. It becomes about how you holistically integrate that park into the local environment, the economy, and the society in a way that is actually truly sustainable for everyone. And that leaves us with the big open question, doesn't it? In a way, India is creating both the problems and the problem solvers at the exact same time. The blueprint for education is literally designed to address the complex realities of its own development. So the ultimate test is going to be this. Can this new generation, brought up in these new schools, truly innovate the solutions needed to power a nation while also protecting its people and the planet?